Take a look, guys. Do you see what I see?
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Build and Drive. If you've been following the series, we have an N52 that was burning so much oil, 300 kilometers per 1 liter of oil burnt. It was not leaking. We even did an oil pan gasket. It was not leaking anywhere. It was burning that much oil that we had to rebuild it. So this is the rebuilt one. We have the other one still over there in the garage. So if you're interested in watching that, you can go check it out in the description down below. So today, we're gonna figure out where it's leaking oil. If you guys remember last time, if you get underneath here, you'll see that it's leaking oil all over underneath the water pump, AC unit, just back here. So what in this area can be leaking oil? Well, we have another engine. This is kind of hard to see what's going on right here. We're just gonna go over to this engine over here and let's take a look at what exactly is on that side of the motor. Okay, so this is the area that we're looking at here. And what do you guys see? First thing from top to bottom is our valve cover gasket. Valve cover gasket could be leaking. Of course, from what I can see, it is not. These two bolts, well, right in here, if you were to take these out, these are the Vanos filters. They have just a mesh filter in there. These can get clogged up, but right now it's fine. They have a little O-ring on the end of them, or on this side of them, to prevent any oil from leaking. Could be leaking from there. I don't think it is on mine. I took a look. Doesn't seem to be any oil there. If we move further down, maybe there's oil coming out of one of the exhaust ports, but also I don't think so, because you'd hear exhaust leak. It'd be pretty loud, and it's normally burnt oil coming out of there, not leaking oil. So that leads us to a cam sensor. It could be leaking from here. There's also a little O-ring on the cam sensor. But I mean, if it's tightened down, normally that doesn't go bad because there's no actual pressure, oil pressure going here. It's just kind of sitting. Let me show you guys. See, there's no actual oil pressure here. The cam sensor's right there. It's just sitting there. There's no real pressure on it. So that one shouldn't be a problem. We have the Vanos seals also, but again, there is no oil pressure. Well, there is oil pressure actually going through there, but normally not too much, I guess. Then, as we move over here, what's the last thing above the head gasket? And it's this guy right here. This is our timing tensioner. Now the timing tensioner, the way it works is it pumps up oil pressure through vein in the block, and it pumps it up into here, and that's what actually pressurizes or puts pressure onto the spring, or maybe the little piston in there that puts pressure on the springy bit of your timing tensioner, and that's what prevents any slack in your timing chain. So what do you see on there between the timing tensioner and the block? You guys seeing what I'm seeing? Now let's come over here.
Let's see if that's our problem. Take a look, guys. I see something there. or something that's not there. And I also see a tiny bit of oil right there. And also, if you look on the plastic here, plastic's wet. So, what does that mean? Man, this is hard to see, guys. I'm sorry. No washer. I forgot to put a damn washer on the timing tensioner. So, this thing I thought was burning oil. How can my brand new rebuilt engine be burning oil? I forgot to put in the damn washer on the timing tensioner. And so that makes sense why there would be so much oil coming from here. I thought at first it was the Vano seals because these are a little bit, there's a little bit of oil there, sweaty. It's right here. Hey. So we're gonna take off this timing tensioner. We're gonna grab the O-ring off of that one, put it on here, and hopefully be done with this oil burning nonsense. I'm gonna get under there and clean up all this oil, and hopefully we are finished with this whole oil burning debacle. Thank you guys for all the comments that you've been leaving in the videos. They've been very helpful to track this down. I kind of did go a little bit crazy trying to find this oil leak, because maybe I'll do a video on all the possible oil leaks on an engine for you guys, because yeah. All right, I think it's a 22. No, much bigger. Oh, that 27. So it's a 27. Gonna need a breaker bar. So we're just gonna put this on here. And righty tighty, lefty loosey. So it seems to be actually like a 26, but the 27 will still work. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Oh, this one wasn't done on that tight, which is good. So there's our tensioner. Let's go back out into the light. So here's what the tensioner looks like. Part number 113175320056-04 IWIS. So as I was explaining earlier, the little washer here that I guess I took it off and I forgot to put it back on. I'm just gonna put it down right here. But how this works is oil pressure gets pumped up in this area of right here between the bolt head and the threads, and it goes into this little hole here, and it pushes on a piston that then squishes or pushes against this piece, which is then pushing on a plastic timing chain guide, and that's what gets your timing chain tension. So in there, as you can see right there, there's an oil passage where it pumps oil from the block through that little vein there, which pressurizes this part of the timing chain tensioner, and then which then pushes onto that guide that's right there. Can we see it from here? It's down there, that guide right there, and it pushes it so that the chain remains nice and tight, doesn't skip a tooth or anything like that. I'm surprised at how gritty it is in there. You guys should clean that out once in a while. So let's just put this back in. Yeah, and as you can see, the oil coming out of that little tube there. I think you're supposed to replace these every, 100,000 K. Sometimes when your car is starting up, it'll give you a little rattle. That could be that your timing chain tensioner is failing. It could be blocked, so that oil pressure is not getting to it right away. and your timing chain has worn out and it's now loose. So that's something definitely to check if your timing chain is making noise. So it seems that you could probably use one of these copper washers. I'll have to look what size this is exactly. Oh no, that won't fit. Well, this is an odd sized one. So I guess you'd have to order this from BMW. This doesn't fit past the threads, or at least the little kit that I have. So if you're interested, I just checked the inner diameter of this thing. It's 22 millimeters or 23 millimeters. So go and make sure that you find a washer with that inner diameter for the timing tensioner. So I've seen people grab a adjustable wrench to get on there just to loosen it. I don't know where my adjustable wrench went, so I'm just gonna try to get a socket on it. It's a 27 mil socket. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, yeah. Man, I tightened this hard. I may need to get a breaker bar on it. I'll have to look up the torque specs, but I just tighten it till it's tight. On something like that. Oh, there's lots of oil there. Look at all that. Oh, it's leaking everywhere. Well, I think that's what we found the leak. So I guess because the engine's angled like that, that this is technically still full of oil when the car starts up. So now that's what's coming out of the engine, is that little pocket of oil that sits there. And I guess over time, because we didn't have the washer in there and the engine's tilted every day, that little pocket of oil just leaked out. All right, well, that was super easy. And as you can see, no washer. So we got this guy back on. I'm just gonna put that to the side. And I'm gonna try and spray some brake clean in there. Clean this out. And in we go again. All right, well, that feels pretty tight. And we're back together. So now I'm gonna jack up the car so that we can put the under tray back on, and I'll show you where it was all leaking from. So for right now, let's clean this all up. You can see here, it's pretty sweaty. You can see the oil driplet right there, droplet. Oil dripping there. Oil on the sway bar. Just sweaty back. As you can see there, a lot of oil kind of caked everywhere. So bit by bit, day by day, there's just dripping oil everywhere. So I'm gonna try and clean this off. The oil kind of all splattered all the way back to the transmission, or the transmission itself is leaking or something, I don't know. Finally, the engine has asked for another liter of oil, so We're at 134,000. We're gonna actually put in a liter of oil, and then I'm gonna drive it for a few months, and we're gonna see exactly how much oil this brand new rebuilt N52 engine is using.